Hi, I'm glad you're all here today. My name is DiNapoli, and I'm going to give you a little bit of my background first. I have a bachelor's degree in nursing, which has nothing to do with what I'm interested in. I started off as a child. I moved around so much. My father was in the Navy, and I found it fascinating how much people were alike everywhere we went. And I used to gather the odd wads. It was the funniest thing that, they were the kids who didn't quite fit in, the kids that were so much more interesting. And I would listen, and I had my own questions about religion and about how things work and where we came from, where we were going, why we were here. And those were all questions I had even as early as 5 and 6 years old. I used to go to churches with friends looking for the answer, which I never found. And so I discovered that it's all made up. We all make it up. We don't know any of those answers about where we came from, what we're here for. And so I get to choose whatever it is I believe. And I believe that the soul is eternal. I believe that we come here for what we have chosen to learn. And I will go so far as to say that I believe we choose who we have as parents. And it really shook my world when I thought about that. And there are a lot of mystics who through the ages have said that we're here for what we're learning and that we're all connected. And I realized as a child that we were connected, and funny things would happen. Like I remember my mother going out and talking to her magnolia tree who was not blooming, and she took a rolled up newspaper and beat the trunk and said, "Listen, you must bloom." Well, it wasn't long and the thing bloomed. And everybody said, well, it's because she stimulated the... But I thought, maybe not. Maybe it was what she said to it. Mm-hmm. So it was really, I've done voracious reading through my life. And there has been, now science has caught up with this. It's shown where plants actually, if you cut one plant in the room, the other plants actually react. They've hooked up electrodes. Movies like What the Bleep Do We Know and Down the Rabbit Hole, where the doctor in Japan put words on glasses of water and the water crystals were completely different, where love, peace, joy, the crystals were perfectly normal. And if he put hate and other negative things on it, the water crystals actually were deformed. And I began to look early in my life at people I knew who had cancer, and I looked at what they had in common, and what they had in common is they were not fully self-expressed in any way. They did what other people wanted them to do. They tried to be what other people wanted them to be. And this was in the early 60s when I started looking at the relationship between the mind and the body. And I've since then done a lot of reading and studying. Right now I'm in the Science of Mind courses with the Church of Religious Science, which is not Scientology. And I've looked at everyone around me, and those who are happy are the people who are doing and being in alignment with their souls. So I'm creating something. I'm not even positive yet about the business part of this, but I've been taking people to the beach. And inside of just listening and being at the beach, people are becoming more clear about who they are and what they want, and they have these huge ahas, and I'm actually not doing anything. I'm just listening. And it's listening to people that they're whole, perfect, and complete. There's nothing wrong anywhere in their lives. And I've been reading Thomas More's Care of the Soul, where he is declaring, he's a psychiatrist, he was a seminary graduate, he was going into the priesthood and did not do that. And he's saying that all of our moods, our depression even, is a creative process. And I can see where everything and everyone on this planet is connected. Our energy is connected. And I'm so excited to see the vibrations around the world rising. So what I'm up to is creating that world that works. And we are connected to every plant, every animal, each other. And it's an eternal connection that flows. And when the energy is flowing as it's supposed to flow, and the world is working the way it's supposed to work, then people are aligned with their soul purpose. There's no room for wars. If we were each fulfilled in our spiritual path and feeling connected to what we're actually doing, then there's no disconnect, there's no discord. So I see us moving that way, and it's interesting to listen to the race-conscious discussion about how the world is going to pieces. I don't see it that way. I see it as we've kind of done like a DGAUZ on a computer, where it kind of jerks and we get adjusted, and the earth is actually changed on its axis after the earthquake in Chile, and we are actually coming into an age of peace and fulfillment. And so that's what I'm doing, is really doing what I can to cause that around the world. And it's really, I love it. I love watching everybody finding themselves and what they're supposed to do. And the funny part of this is, in the 60s, when everybody went to the beach to find themselves, I thought, isn't that the silliest thing I've ever seen? How can they find themselves in the crowd? And so now in my later years, I'm out there helping people find themselves, and I'm finding myself inside of everyone else, because that's how it works. And I believe we all have the answers we need if we're still, if we meditate, if we contemplate, if we just listen to that small inner voice. And there's an author who wrote A Still Small Voice, and it's written by Echo Bodine. And it's just, I think we all have it, we just don't listen. So what's happening at the beach is we're actually still, and we get to listen, and we do have the answers. And when we're not doing what's in alignment with who we are, and we're so unique. You know, when you think about the billions of people who have been on this planet, not one of us is like anyone else. Even the twins, identical twins, are not really identical. They can be so totally different. I have a geneticist friend who really presenced me to the fact that we are so different. And each one of us on this planet is a gift. That's my belief. We each have a talent, we each have a purpose, we each have a gift, and we are gifted to each other. So that's what I'm up to in the world. So that's it.